Look at this guy. This feathered menace is a dinosaur. No, seriously. If you're waiting for a giant, scaly Godzilla to walk on screen, you're about 66 million years late to the party. I'm Mr. J, and today we're talking about the real OGs. Most people think dinosaurs were just big, dumb lizards that failed at life because they got hit by a rock. But honestly, if humans lasted even 1% as long as dinosaurs did, we'd probably have found a way to accidentally delete the moon by now. Dinosaurs ruled this rock for 170 million years. To put that in human terms, that's like surviving the rise and fall of Rome, about 50,000 times in a row. They weren't just big, they were biological Ferraris in a world of tricycles. They had the lungs of a marathon runner, the growth spurts of a teenager on steroids, and a skeletal structure that basically said, gravity is just a suggestion. So, how did a bunch of tiny desert-dwelling runts become the literal kings of the world? Put on your seatbelts, and maybe don't look at your pet parakeet the same way ever again. Picture the world 250 million years ago. It's hot, it's dusty, and everything smells like burnt hair, because the Great Dying, the world's worst extinction, just finished melting the planet. The dinos didn't start off as the big bosses. Nah, they were the underdogs, the scrawny kids of the Triassic. The real heavy hitters back then were the pseudosuchians. Think of them as crocs too. They were massive, they had teeth the size of steak knives, and they looked at our early dino ancestors like a snack-sized bucket of popcorn. But the dinos had a secret weapon, the hips. See these croc mats? Their legs are stuck out to the side like they're perpetually stuck in the middle of a push-up. Brilliant for a swamp, but rubbish for a marathon. But the dinosaurs? They evolved an upright stance. Their legs were tucked right under their hips. It's the difference between trying to run a race while doing the crab walk versus sprinting like an Olympic legend. It meant they could grow bigger, move faster, and travel further without gassing out after 5 minutes. And check the plumbing. While everyone else was puffing and panting in the thin, low-oxygen air of the Triassic, dinosaurs developed one-way breathing. Fresh oxygen going in all the time, even when they were exhaling. It's basically biological turbocharging. So, when the next big extinction event rocked up at the end of the Triassic, the crocmen couldn't handle the heat. But the dinos? They just laced up their metaphorical sneakers and sprinted right into the Jurassic. Welcome to the Jurassic, mates. The humidity is at 110%. The plants are everywhere. And the dinosaurs? Well, they finally stopped being the scrawny runts and started becoming absolute units. Look at the size of this bloke. This is a sauropod. These long-necked legends decided that medium wasn't a size on the menu. We're talking animals the size of 4-story buildings. Now, how did they get that big without their own bones turning into dust? Simple. Honeycombs. Their neck bones weren't solid rocks. They were filled with air pockets. It's basically aerospace engineering millions of years before we invented the airplane. They had the reach of a crane and the weight of, well, still a lot, but they could actually move. This was the era of niche partitioning. That's just a fancy way of saying everyone stayed in their own lane so they could all get fat. The sauropods took the treetops, the stegosaurs took the shrubbery, and the allosaurs, well, they took whatever they could catch. It was a global buffet, and the dinos had a VIP pass. Because the Earth was basically one giant greenhouse, they spread out everywhere. From the poles to the equator, If there was a patch of dirt, a dino was living his best life on it. And check the hardware. This is where the arms race went mental. You get bigger teeth, I get bigger spikes. You get faster legs, I get a literal club on the end of my tail. Alright, welcome to the Cretaceous. This is the grand finale, the main event. The continents are drifting apart, flowers are finally blooming, making the world look a bit less like a rock concert and more like a garden. And the dinosaurs? They went absolutely full send on the weirdness. First off, let's address the elephant or the chicken in the room. Feathers. I know. You wanted scaly dragons, but the Cretaceous was fluffier than a disco in the 70s. Most of these terrible lizards were rocking coats of downy fuzz. It wasn't for flying yet. It was for looking flash for the ladies and keeping the nippers warm. They were basically warm-blooded tanks in tracksuits then. There's this bloke, the Tyrannosaurus Rex, the king of tyrants. Now, don't let the tiny arms fool you. This lizard had a bite force that could crush a ute like a soda can. But here's the kicker. The secret to their 170 million year reign wasn't just being big and scary, it was their growth spurts. A T-Rex would go from a lanky teenager to a 7-ton wrecking machine in just a few years. They grew faster than weeds in a wet summer. This meant they could replace their population quickly, adapt to new spots, and basically outpopulate any other big predator that tried to move in on their turf. They had better brains, better eyes, and a social life. We've got evidence of them huddling together and looking after their nests. They weren't just mindless chomping machines, they were a sophisticated, feathered empire. They had it all figured out, mate. They were untouchable. Nothing on this green earth could stop them except, something not from this earth. But we'll get to that rocky ending in a sec. And then, the cosmic party popper. One bad day, a giant space rock, and kaboom! No more T-Rex. But here's the twist. The small, feathered legends lived on. They shrunk down, traded teeth for beaks, and became the birds in your backyard. 170 million years of dominance. And they're still here stealing your chips. Humans, we're just the new tenants. Respect the OGs. See ya in the next one, mates.